Are you ready, kids? Get your parents' permission, check your mailbox, and grab your shopping cart. It's time for the Adventures in Collecting podcast.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Dave. Welcome to Adventures in Collecting, where we talk toy news, culture, and hauls,
along with our journeys as collectors. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Adventures in Collecting users, programs. Welcome to the grid.
Hi.
Sorry, I'm already amped up. Nobody listening or watching this will understand the green room situation that just happened prior to this, and I just want you to know that we're coming in hot. Energy is coming in hot.
Let's just say somebody didn't realize what time it was, and it's me.
We have this is a jam-packed episode. This is
it is important. I was geared up for it all day.
Yeah,
that's why I'm super disappointed I was late.
This is important not only to us but to a large part of the community. This is I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is our first I know Not Sam has the red button, the emergency button. This is a 3-alarm emergency at this point.
Yeah, this is a huge emergency. I'm still making text big so I can read it.
Yeah. So, if you read the description of this episode, if you're new here, hey, how's it going?
Hi. If you saw our Comic-Con coverage, my immense disappointment in all of you.
In roughly at least our disappointment as of recording
is palpable. I'm more disappointed in you than I am myself for being late.
In roughly, what would that be? 8,900 roughly of you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're disappointed.
And I'm usually the positive one, and I'm disappointed.
But
a lot of you.
So that aside, the feelings of disappointment.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
You're in disappointed uncle mode. That's where you're at. So the negatives.
But I'm also very excited because I really want this to happen.
We are bundling up the negative energy. Mm-hmm. We're
getting it out.
We're placing it on the solar sailor, and
it is joining.
And we're sending it off.
Young Dillinger in the retro grid.
Yes. We are going to be talking specifically about the Hasbro HasLab Tron project, as well as maybe a little bit about the legacy figures too, since those are now fully revealed. But our main focus here is the Tron, the Tron HasLab, and how we need your help to make the grid a reality. And the best way we could do that is by what's the opposite? I guess the opposite of derezzing is rezzing, right? We're gonna rez in our friends from Hasbro.
Not in the weird Dillinger 3D printing way.
No, we're gonna.
Although that was pretty dope, I gotta be honest.
We're gonna fire up the 1982 particle cannon, and we're gonna rez in Steve, and we're gonna rez in Chris, and we. There we go.
I think this tattoo is new for Steve, but I'm pretty sure Chris saw it at Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, he's got his Tron Legacy tattoo.
Look at you. So, we got in. Hello.
We got in, man.
Got in. Biological jazz, or whatever it is. Very good. Nice of you to join us, Dave. Thanks very much for turning up.
Yeah.
Wonderful to see you again, just about.
Listen, sometimes, truth be told, Dave was knocking on the sky to see who was listening. That's really what was happening. That was what was happening. Yeah.
I was actively getting that tattoo as we
Well, listen, before we hop into all things Tron, important thing that we need to note, happy Life Day, gents. This is airing on Life Day.
Life Day.
Perfect.
I got nothing to give. I haven't a terrarium. What have I got? I got some room ritual spray because it stinks down here because my cats smell.
I've got Han on a bench.
That counts.
That's I have a can of
right now. There we go. But yeah, so we are here to talk Tron. And you guys have a HasLab going.
I have a Kyber crystal. So that's my life day gift.
Perfect. Yeah. So at New York Comic Con, we're just gonna jump right in here because there's a lot to talk about. At New York Comic Con, you guys revealed that Hasbro's tapping into the grid, getting into the world of Tron. Tell us a little bit about first and foremost how this opportunity came up.
How it came up, God, that's a good. Well, so I think we were, Chris, myself, Emily, and the Star Wars team. We've obviously been doing vintage collection for a while, 375, and we kind of were talking about like what a unique sort of scale it is, and like why is it different from 6-inch, and how is it different, and the world building scale, and we were sort of hypothesizing about what makes it special. And it was this sort of like, well, it's like figures and creatures and vehicles and play sets, or you can kind of create these scenes and these moments in a really nice sort of 2 foot by 1 foot area that you can kind of display reasonably easily. And we were just spitballing. I don't even remember whether it was a meeting or whether we were just sitting at lunch, or we were just chatting, and we were like, where else could that work? Like, what else would be cool at that scale to get things that we haven't done before? And so we spat out a load of different thoughts and ideas, and we knew that Ares was coming, and we were like, well, we kind of like Tron. Like, I like Tron. Chris loves Tron. Like, Emily likes Tron as well. And we were just like, why don't we do Tron? Like, it's a Disney thing. We can talk to our friends there, and maybe and then that just led on to this sort of like, what else? So I think that's my memory of it, Chris. I don't know what your memory is.
Yeah.
Well, mine's very philosophical. Yours is probably more practical.
No, it's very much the same, because I think it came out of a passion for the scale and for the content. I mean, it's really kind of both of those things led us to Tron initially. Like Steve said, I mean, Ares coming and being on our radar, like the collective ethos of Tron being back in everybody's heads certainly helped. But
I think there was also this. I think so I haven't got a massive Tron collection by any stretch. And Chris, I don't actually know how much Tron stuff you got, but I got a little cube there, and I love the original Tomy 82 stuff. And there was this desire. There's been a desire for a long time, really, of like, I want screen accurate 3.75. Like seeing the stuff that Chris and Emily were doing and producing and designing, and the engineers and getting it in. I was just like, I've got me here. I was just like, I want ones like that. That has never been done before. Like, never been done before. And that infuriates me, because it's like, why has that never been done before? I know like Medicom did the articulated ones back in 2002, but they were very Microman, very stylized, which is super cool. I got sucked back there. But like this had never been done before. And I was like, that excites me. And the fact that it was not Star Wars excited me, because it's just experimenting. Like we're designers, we're creatives. Like we naturally are curious and naturally want to try new things. And as Chris says, like this scale is really important in history and important in terms of functionality. And I think actually, although it's sort of started way back in like 72, 73, it's actually on trend for modern needs, because like space saving and kind of space efficiency, it's a macro trend, and we're seeing a lot of it coming out of Japan with acrylics and things like that, where people are collecting their characters in space saving ways. Like it's already here, so there's all that as well. But I guess fundamentally, it was like, I want that on my shelf.
that was part of it for me too. I mean, we were talking about like what we had in our collections. I don't have a lot of the vintage Tron toys in my collection. I have some, but I was never happy with them. They never filled that desire for me. And I think that was part of the excitement about doing these, is that we could do what I wanted in the toys.
Yeah.
I mean, and we talked a little bit about it in New York, just the light cycles have been done before. I've always loved the light cycles, but you could never put you could put a figure in them, but it was like laying a figure in a coffin. You might as well put them in a shoebox. And being able to have a figure pose out on the light cycles, and then just the nerd in me loving the res up moment of the light cycle where you see motorcycle pipes and stuff underneath it, and being able to bring that into a product like that was the fun and energy for me in it.
You did nerd out.
Hadn't been done.
Chris was a nightmare because it was like, Chris, show me the pose with all encased. So it's like, what's the proportions and stuff? And he was just like, no, I just like looking at it without the sides on because it's like the res up moment. I want to shoot this in clear with the grid lines and all this kind of stuff. And he liked it naked. He liked the bike naked. So it's just like, no, put the sides on, Chris.
Let's talk about that though. I mean, the light cycles are, I mean, probably the most iconic thing. Maybe I know it's definitely the most.
It's definitely the most
iconic thing in Tron, right? I mean, there's a theme park attraction where you get to ride one. And Chris, you did kind of allude to this, but for folks that haven't watched our New York Comic Con coverage, potentially, dive into that because I actually found that fascinating. That what you had to do to kind of like re-engineer a light cycle.
Yeah, the engineering behind it.
Yeah, well, I mean, part of it is that the light cycles in the movie, and this is a common theme in movie stuff that we work on, is the characters can't physically fit in the volume of the light cycles as you see them in the movie. Like the light cycles were designed to be cool in light cycles, and the characters, there's a lot of magic and kind of hand waving that goes on there. I mean, in a digital world, maybe their shoulders de-res and it's just their heads in there. But in our world, we have to make those figures fit. So, I mean, part of that, like the first part of that is the figures need to get into the pose. And Emily and Bailey, who was the initial sculptor on these things, did such a great job of taking all those learnings we had from the 3 3/4 world of Star Wars and the latest articulation there, and then bringing in some of Bailey's experience on 6-inch stuff and what we've done on brands like Marvel Legends and others to have double jointed knees to really get those great poses. And you see that there in that image. It's like being able to fold those legs all the way back around. Like that's a key part of being able to get into pose. Then there's a bunch of other stuff. Well, like I wanted to do the insides of the bike, that res up moment, have those pipes and stuff so that they had a place to sit. But then realizing, well, the shoulders don't quite fit. Do we have to scale up the bike a tiny bit? Do we make it a little bit wider? If we make it wider, what does that do to all the intersecting surfaces that come in? And it was a lot of back and forth and different 3D models, printing stuff out, just trying it, working with our partners over in Hong Kong on the models and the different shops that we're working on this stuff to really fine tune it. So,
and I have to congratulate Chris on this because there's all of them, everyone, like they made these figures realistic as if they've popped out the screen, but they made the articulation so that they could fit in. And Chris knows I've got this, by the way. I stole the model. I stole the one and only prototype in the entire world because I'm going to play around with it a little bit and kind of show people what it looks like. But like that is pretty sleek, Mm-hmm. As you say, it might not be exactly like it is on screen because it's impossible on screen. But like Chris and Emily did a brilliant job in just maximizing and optimizing this to fit in this to make sure that this is nice and sleek and proportionate. I mean, actually, even seeing it on the screen doesn't look as good as it is in your hand. Like this is pretty aerodynamic. And I've got all the other ones. I'm like, yeah. I don't know how you get it in here, like, if I'm honest.
And I think that's one of the big things that you lose in photos, if that makes sense, is like you lose how outstanding and how cool it looks and being able to see through the windshield and see the character with that movie pose and all that. Like you lose that in when it's not in person. Like seeing it at Comic-Con was definitely, I'll go so far as to say mind-blowing. Like it is kind of miraculous engineering to be completely honest.
as a Tron fan, I mean, we obviously we all are here. It was one of those things where two things completely took me off guard. And I mean, I was sitting, in that chair during the presentation, seeing it on screen. One of the actual scale of it, like what's actually there, the size, the way everything kind of feels in hand. Like even 3 3/4 inch is my scale, like that's the largest piece of my collection is 3 3/4 Star Wars figures. So like I'm very familiar what vehicles and figures feel in that scale. But these just especially with the light cycle, because again it's weird, right? Like the trajectory of Tron fandom is super strange, right? Like the original film when it came out in 1982 failed. Then they tried to put it in theaters again and it failed worse. So much so to the point where like Disney did not make another live action movie for like a pretty long time after Tron.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things in a weird way about Tron is that it's always been the case where it's been mediocre to the critics.
Yeah.
It's always been fan driven. So
that's exactly
any of the movies, I think even the latest one, I think got mediocre critical reviews, but then the fans, everybody that goes to see it loves it. And I think like that really speaks to like the energy behind the fandom being able to continue that property over time.
It's a small and devoted fan base,
and
like,
that's
it really
exactly it. That's exactly it, and that's the point that I was getting at is that the level of devotion from the fandom here. Like, I wish there was a way that more just general Tron fans for a movie and a franchise that exists so heavily in a digital world, you would think that there would be so much more of a digital presence where like Tron fans gather outside of like a single subreddit.
There's probably a BBS somewhere that you have to dial into with a modem.
Seriously.
Well,
it's on that Apple IIe that's in Antarctica in Aries.
It's interesting because like I as I said, Chris and I have sort of got Tron bits and pieces, but I'm not going to claim to have been like part of the Tron community. But then, researching this project, we went in and we looked on Facebook and we found, a number of Tron sites with like 3,000, 2,000, 4,000. Instagram's got a few here, there, and everywhere. Like Reddit's got like 42,000 on their subreddit, and it's like so they're there, and like part of the journey of this. And to be fair, like, I don't design any of it. Like Chris and Emily, they do all that. Like, but like my part of the deal was like going in and finding these where the community is, because it's always important to go to them. I always find, like, because they don't necessarily, they know who Hasbro is, but they don't associate Hasbro with Tron, and they certainly don't associate HasLab. They might even know what it is. So I spent a long time kind of going in and observing and chatting, and like I made really good friends with Dave Arnspiger, who's like a big kind of collector. I call him the Steve Sansweet of Tron. Like, he's got everything, knows everything, and knows a lot of the directors and the actors and actresses, and has all these amazing stories. So I sort of struck up a friendship with him, and he was very helpful and very gracious to us, as being in there and saying, well, it's this and that, and be aware of this. And he sort of like helped guide us. He was like the bit that just kind of took us around and then, and like, what should we do this? What do you think of this? And it was just, he was brilliant. And so that going to another community and seeing the differences and the similarities, kind of like was brilliant. It was really fun. That I personally got a lot out of it. I know the team did in terms of, his advice and stuff like that. So, but they're there, but they're a small and passionate group, and they're deeply knowledgeable, as you would be. I mean, I think Tron is about knowledge, and they're very specific. I know Star Wars is very specific. Actually, they're all specific. That's the nature of the collectors and community. They're just like, they know everything.
I'm glad you said Star Wars, right? Because that is, I think that's the key differentiator here, right? Is like Star Wars fans Star Wars and toys have been connected since like the birth of the franchise. So much so that like a scale pretty much exists because of this movie, right? Because of Star Wars.
Well, and it never went away either.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the biggest thing.
And with Tron, much like it has this kind of like cult following and these little, you know, this like very dedicated pocket, the toy and collectible aspect of Tron has been literally feast or famine. You know, you get one company that will do something like very small and everyone grabs onto it and then it just bloop, disappears.
And then 15 years later, we get a new one.
Yep. And now it's like, okay, how do we get, you know, and I mean we as in like fans, people who know that this exists, want it. You know, like we backed it before we even left the dang auditorium.
Yeah.
Walking down to see you guys put it out on display. But like,
yeah, quicker than the Ecto, to be honest, for me.
Like how do you show people that don't collect toys, hey, there is this awesome thing out there, like, you know, price aside, there is this awesome thing out there that speaks directly to you and your fandom, and whether you collect toys or not, like, look at this light up acrylic display that you can put next to your Blu-rays, next to your DVDs, next to your VHSs,
and
next to your steel books, like.
And we're actually in a point too where like Tron is going to, even if it's not going to be in a movie or on a movie screen or a TV screen or anything, it's going to be in a theme park for as long as like basically time exists.
I
mean, yeah, it's put its place in cinematic history and storytelling history. It's there. It's not going anywhere. I think you're right. I think, like, you know, I've been wanting, I just explained, like I've always wanted this, and so I think even just to have the chance to do this, even to just push ourselves and do something different and try something new through what we did with the HasLab on here is, I'm not going to say reward enough, but it is in a way. It's like, if we didn't try and do this, then there'd be no chance of getting this. I don't know if maybe another company would come and do this scale. I don't know, but like we're here now, and we're offering this. And I think it's something really special. I think it's something that's never been done before. I know it's something that's never been done before. I think when I'm going to these communities and seeing they like the stuff, they're like, oh, it's beautiful. And yes, there is a purchase issue. You know, there is like, wow, it's expensive. And it's like, I'm trying to, in my brain, kind of understand, well, maybe they're not used to buying things like this. That's new, like, especially this size. Because, you know, a lot of people say, well, it's 3.75. Like, what? It's only 3.75. I'm like, yeah, but the engineering that goes into this is just as complex as a 6-inch figure or a larger figure. It's like, you haven't seen this before. You've seen 5-point articulation, which is fine. I love them. Like, hell, do I love 5-point articulation? Yes, I do. But it's like, it's something new. So I think the fact that we've gone out and we've offered this as something completely different and unique for this movie in a scale that I believe is the right scale to do for this movie, bearing in mind 1982, you know, 3.75 was everywhere. It was Star Wars, it's Indiana Jones, it's a load of other things. It's the right brand and the right movie to do at this scale because of that, and because it's never been done before in this scale. So I'm just proud and happy that we've even got to offer it. Like, if I'm honest, like I'm delighted. I've learned so much from it. I'm sure Chris has learned a ton from it, and Emily and all the people involved. It's been a joy, almost, if it does fund or doesn't fund in some ways. Like, if it doesn't fund, I'm going to come away sad, but I'm not going to come away regretful, not for a second. Like, because that's like, Chris and I have brilliant jobs already. Like, we get paid to do this. Like, but like, what makes it even more exciting is we can try new things out. We're creatives. We're just naturally curious. We want to try out new different things. So I wouldn't change this for the world. I wouldn't do it differently.
And to that point, I think doing things like this, and like we talked about the articulation and pushing things that way and doing something new here, it's through doing new things and experimenting that way that we learn new stuff. Yeah. And when we do the same thing every day, I think there's a there's something that happens to humans where you just kind of get complacent. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because sometimes like doing the same thing is good and everybody wants consistency. But consistency like has a downside. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
And pushing ourselves and seeing what we can do in this scale with deco and articulation and branching out into a property like this, it teaches us and lets us experiment in a way. I think that's critical to keeping the kind of scale alive and learning more from it too.
Even just Chris, the challenge you had with getting these into the bikes without making the bikes too thick and clunky, the sort of the excuse me, the range and the shoulders and all that kind of stuff that you Emily and Bailey did, like that stays with us now. Like that. It
helps that they're all wearing skin tight suits. But yes,
yeah, it does help that. Well, yeah, it does. But even he fits in, and he's kind of like, but like we wouldn't have had to try and get a figure into a tight bike enclosed vehicle. I don't think in Star Wars, not to this extent. So it all comes from the same well and helps everything. So.
Well, and there's challenges with them in the bike, and what the photo you have up there is a great example of Tron looking up.
Oh, yeah.
If you know the Star Wars 3 3/4 figures, most of them can't get their head that far back to look up, and that's one of the things that Bailey helped a lot with is figuring out essentially a track mechanism so that the ball joint in the head has tracks in addition to the ball joint, so that it can get a little further back. So and that's a learning that we can take into Black Series, into TVC, into the other brands we do. Like and like I was saying, like growing and experimenting and doing new things like this, where it challenges you in a different way than you're used to, is great for evolving product.
Well, talking also about something new, who else is on the screen here? You guys are the first to tackle Yori. I mean, a main character of the film that has never had an action figure.
She has. Super 7 did Yori.
Okay.
Super 7 5-point, but not like this. Not like this.
Not like
proper
this.
Yori with
Not a figure you can
helmet.
recognize as Yori.
Yeah.
With removable helmet. Where is she?
Yep.
That you don't have to go to the theme park to get. Also.
Oh, she was exclusive there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, those were all park exclusive.
So where is she on card here? I have a picture of her on card for those watching along there with her removable helmet while Steve gets her out of the bag.
Don't try and take her helmet off, Steve.
No, I know that already. I remember Matt when he was photographed.
Yeah, we
like,
teased Matt.
Come off, and I was like, if it doesn't feel like it wants to, don't, because it's
We tease Matt in the photo studio. He does such a great job on photos, and I joke with him that he's got hams for fists sometimes.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
This photo shoot
in fairness to Matt, it's
unbelievable.
joking. We didn't warn him that they were as fragile as they are.
His photo shoot. Shouts to @shooting the galaxy on Instagram, Matt. This photo shoot was ridiculous. So good.
Yeah.
He had fun. He had fun doing that. Yeah, put that. Does that snap into focus? Is my camera that good? Oh, that's not bad.
There she is.
That's not bad.
What do you mean? It's even better. You're out of focus, and she's.
Shut your face. It's like picking up Sark. Stop picking up Sark. Pick up her.
No, I did it before.
Whatever. They obviously like Sark.
Yeah, but the brand protection police like the front view of her better.
Yeah, I haven't actually held these because obviously you had them for New York Comic Con and I was off ill, but like.
Yeah, they're really
I'm just
fun
gonna put them in my collection now, Chris.
And off he goes, and there they go.
We better have the model shop make another set or two.
I'll take some photos of these. In sort of in situ.
Yeah, put them in there with the other Tron stuff you have to show the contrast.
Actually,
that would be great.
That would be great.
And don't get me wrong, I love all the ones I've got. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't want this is not but like this. You think you have Tron action figures? You don't. They're here. And I mean that with all love and respect to everyone else. But like, I'm just, for the first time actually holding them.
Oh, they're
Okay, all right.
and getting them in the poses they can get into. That was one of the fun things at the shows we took these to, is that Dwight with the other figures and me with these, we would repose them every day and put them in a different pose, get them out. Like you can put Tron and Yori in kind of the poster pose. You can have them battling with discs. It's just, I mean, it's one of the joys of working on toys and figures like this, is being able to play with them.
I had a good time that first day at New York Comic Con watching you and Dwight put them into poses and put them into the case, Chris. Like I was living vicariously through both of you at that time.
That's 3 times that word's been used tonight.
Vicariously.
Yeah.
Like even Sark's head, just like the way he's got his like little kind of collar thing, just in terms of posing and just getting that slight.
The depth in it, yeah, like the multi-layers.
And this is this big. This is like.
Well, that's the thing.
The engineering is incredible.
It's literally miraculous engineering. These figures.
It is. A lot of people look at these and they go, "Oh, it's half the size of this big one. It's got to be half the value." And it's like, value is not what you pay; it's what you get. You get just as good engineering. In some ways, I'm going to even say better, just because it's smaller. Like the stuff that's going on in these figures.
Well, listen, you guys know how much I love vehicles.
Awesome. Right.
How much I love vehicles. This is the only scale where only action figure scale, put it that way. Not the only scale, period. The only action figure scale where you could potentially get a recognizer down the line. Any other scale, it would be unbelievable.
It would be the flag.
Yeah, like
oh, no, we know. We
may have measured that out.
Yeah, I think we had a foam core of the recognizer floating around Steve's office for a little while.
Imagine like you would need 2 rooms in a house, one for the recognizer and one for the USS flag.
Yeah, there's a place in my heart for 1/12 scale figures, and I am so excited for the Tron Legacy figures that like they look fantastic. But there is never in any realm of possibility that a recognizer at 1/12 scale would be feasible.
No shot.
Like literally, no.
They're building size in the real world. Like no.
An example A would be the 1/12 scale TIE fighter that came out years ago. When you actually realize that it's not just like, a 3 3/4 inch figure is this big and a 6 inch figure is this big, so it's just going to be twice the size of a TIE fighter, right? No, that's not how it works.
I think that's it. I know there's certain tribals out there that are like, well, that's the other scale, and this is this scale, and they're blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. And like, I get it. That's fine. It's just like sports. It's just sports. You have your team, but they just deliver, to me, very different things, and they have their pros and cons like anything. But I look at 6 inch scale, and that's character building. That's like, here are the characters, and I want people. And you can get certain vignettes like we do in Black Series. We're doing the new vignettes. We've done the Mustafa, and we've done the Bespin. Yeah. But like this scale is figures, vehicles, creatures, playsets, worlds, scenes. It's like you can capture a scene that is realistic, that actually looks like the scene. It's not stylized. It's not stylized. But to me, they are big enough for all the detail, and they are small enough to create dynamic dioramas. And some of the dioramas that people build in Black Series is fantastic. Some of the things that build in 375 is just beyond, because you can have AT-ATs and Hothscapes and cantinas and throne rooms, and some of the pictures. And I've just asked on my Instagram, like, hey, show me your 375 displays, and they are just mind blowing. Some of them are just mind blowing. It's that aspect of 375 or the 1/18th, whatever you want to call it, that I am desperate to advocate and to share and to show, and I need help to do that. And we need help to do that. Like we need to just advocate this scale, because it's unique. It really is unique.
And I absolutely love
if you guys, before we leave that topic, if you guys are not following Empire Toy Works out there,
just the guy's rubbish. He is awful.
It is unbelievable the stuff that he does with the 3 3/4 inch scale world building. It is just
if there's one place I want to go, it's in his, whether it's his attic or his basement. I don't know where it is, but his world, like it is. It's I don't know. It's Blade Runner.
Yeah, wherever he lives, I would also like to live. Like just oh my god,
it's insane. I mean, I come down here and feel proud when I got my blue lights on, but there's nothing like that.
Yeah. Like for those watching, this is a 1/18 scale Razor Crest. Like this is the HasLab just for scale. Like usually it's on the internet what's like banana for scale. This is like Razor Crest for scale.
It's insane. It's insane. But it's
Banana
like
for scale.
but then any other scale that wouldn't be possible, or you need a lot more space, or it'd be too small and you wouldn't get all the detail, the posability and all this kind of stuff. So it's just this sweet spot. It's not a coincidence that it's that. You know, when our friends in Takara in 1973 went, oh, we can't make 12-inch Genshin Cyborg anymore. We have to shrink it down. I don't know who did it. I don't know who went, yeah, about that. It was just genius. And I'm sure they made it. Went, oh, hang on a minute. This is a really great size. We can build all these ships and play sets and stuff, and it just still fits on the table. You see the adverts from it from like the early 70s. And it's just all there. I don't know. It's
the other thing too for like diorama wise too is you basically get the start of your Tron diorama, like with the piece of the grid and the like, you know, numeric kind of pseudo alphanumeric like kind of background piece that you can build off of. Like you could build off of this.
Yeah, well, and that was part of what we wanted here is we talked a lot about the entirety of the offering and what was the shrine to Tron is kind of how I kept thinking about it.
Yeah,
like if I get one thing, what all do I want in that one thing to make it that
centerpiece?
Piece? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys have made a Tron centerpiece. And that's why, you know, like everybody that I know that isn't like, I have a friend who is, and I'm not going to name him on here, but Dave knows who I'm talking about. He loves Tron so much, his dog's name is Tron.
Yeah.
And I was like, and he's not a toy guy. Like he has a couple of like hot toys, a couple of like master replicas, lightsabers. Like he likes kind of more like the prop end of things.
Mm-hmm.
I showed him this and I was like, dude, right in your DVD display shelf, your physical media display shelf, like just clear a couple out, slide it in, DVDs go right next to it, and you have a light up, plug-inable acrylic Tron display forever.
Yeah. Actually, centerpiece is a good word. Chris and I often use shrine. It always sounds like it's like shrine always sounds slightly kind of weird, but like centerpiece is actually I think. But it is. It's just like we just wanted to capture it. We wanted to capture because you know the 375 initiative is just that. It's an initiative. It's an exploration. We're exploring. We're trying different things out. This is not a massive line that we're going to kind of bring out like one every few weeks. It's just we were just curious. We were just, hey, what happens if we do this? So like that's why we decided to kind of release it as a one piece, as a one centerpiece, shrine, whatever you want to call it, that has never been done before, versus individuals and all this kind of stuff, because it was just a way of doing it. It was a way of allowing us to do it, allow these kind of crazy designers to kind of like have a go and just kind of see where it takes us and kind of learn new things and kind of try and pay homage to a film that we really care about, that is important. It is important to pop culture, and it's
for sure.
I know we mentioned like about how they did originally in the theaters and their original releases, but it's this sort of like I kind of look at them as like underdogs. They're the underdog movies. I love movies that become cult classics.
Yeah,
I don't know why I love that. Maybe it's the Britishness in me. We love the underdog, but I just love that building, and I'm sure I'll see it in Aries as well. I'm sure it's already kind of growing. It's just sort of like I like.
And if you look through it, there's this really interesting thread of like success, and it's that not only the people that are in it, like Jeff Bridges, right? Like guy went on to have an incredible career. You had Journey on the soundtrack in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, you had Daft Punk arguably put out, if not their best, one of their best records is the score for Tron Legacy.
Yeah.
You know, you have a band like Nine Inch Nails that you know, absolutely crushed the new the new soundtrack. You know, it's just
Reznor doesn't do Nine Inch Nails scores.
yeah, like it's not, and that's the thing. It's not like Trent Reznor scoring it. It's an actual Nine Inch Nails album. Like it's just this movie.
Yeah, I've heard people describe it as going to a 2-hour Nine Inch Nails concert.
Pretty much.
Kinda.
And we saw them on this most recent tour where they played the song from the single from the album.
Yeah, As Alive As You Need Me to Be.
They themed their whole layout of their concert to like it looked like the grid. The whole
they're even the tour colors are red and black. Like
it was lasers and impressive, and it was otherworldly. But like I'm not concerned that Tron Ares, like if you are surprised that Tron Ares didn't do well, and I'm air quoting heavily, didn't do well at the box office, like you have not been following Tron's trajectory since 1982, right? Like it found its audience. It will continue to find its audience. It will continue to grow once it's out of theaters.
It'll do
just the way that it is.
Big numbers on streaming because they always do. Like,
but
DVD back in the day.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
This segment is brought to you by our friends at Chubsy Wubsy Toys. A traditional mom-and-pop toy store in Little Falls, New Jersey, Chubsy Wubsy Toys brings you the best new toys from the brands you love without the hassle of pounding the pavement searching for them at larger retail stores. Visit them in person at their brand new home at 101 Newark Pompton Turnpike, Suite 1 in Little Falls, New Jersey, or online at chubsywubsy.com. That's CHUBZZYWUBZZY.com. And tell them Adventures in Collecting sent you.
And now, back to the show.
With this project, what do you guys think is that success thread? What's the thing that, like, maybe the detail, the attention to something that maybe Tron fans and collectors haven't noticed yet about this project? Like the thing that really kind of makes this special to you guys outside of just kind of the scale and the experience and getting to work on something like this.
What do you reckon, Chris?
I don't know. I think the thing, I'll answer it kind of around the corner, because I think the thing that I've been experiencing as we show this to fans, the Tron fans, is that I've had multiple interactions where they come up and they've seen it online, and then they see it in person for the first time, and they're stunned by it in person where they weren't online. And I think that's just, I don't know if that's because, like we talked earlier, Tron fans aren't out in the toy world. They're not used to looking for things. So I don't know if they're tuned into the detail level and stuff that these have that previous things haven't. I don't know what that is. But for me, I think it's all of that. It's the really the detail of these things. And you could look at these and online, you don't know whether, like, I could tell you that's a 6-inch figure, and all that detail is completely believable for a 6-inch figure. It's completely believable for a 12-inch figure. But when you see it in person as a 3 3/4 figure, I think that's the most special part to me, is that it's all here. It's all this big.
I agree with you. And I don't know whether I can articulate any better, but it's like I've been involved in this project since its beginning. This is the first time I've actually really held the things. Yeah. And this scale helps. It just helps because you get to see all of it all at once. And it's just, I don't know, it's just the detail that's in the deco and the articulation and the characterization through it is just, yeah, you can't do it justice. I wish I could pass this through the camera to everybody so they could actually just all take turns and hold their hands. And everyone that's sort of gone, yeah, it was just a 3.75 figure. Like, what? They would know what I mean. It's like, and I keep saying, I'm just going to keep saying it till I'm blue in the face, which is pretty easy because I got blue lights. Like, you haven't had the opportunity to have a Tron figure like this. Never.
Yeah.
Ever. Ever. You've had 6, 7-inch ones, but not at this scale, not at this detail, not this articulation, not this deco. And like, you don't know what you're missing. You really don't. It is just like, wow. And again, I don't know what the value of that is. And like, what is the value to me? Like, I don't know. I think it's pretty kind of special, but yeah, I'm biased. Yeah, it's our project, but like, I think that's the magic thread through it is just the detail achievable at a scale that is displayable.
Yeah.
To make your shrine that could fit on your DVD's case that people can go, what's that? And it lights up, and you go, "Oh, it's Tron. Cool. They're small. I remember they're not the ones I remember. What the hell? Oh my god! Look at the detail. Look at the thing. Oh, they do on the back, and they got the effects with throwing it, and they got every single. I'm gonna hold Emily to the fire. Every single piece of deco. Like, we had Dave Arnspiger check these over, and like, we had copious amounts of all the references, and some of them are difficult. The program, the sort of generic program was really difficult because they were kind of like, yeah, like sort of, it was like there were so many different gauntlets and so many different, kind of hockey helmets and different. They were all different, and it's like, which one do we do? And that kind of like squirrely nerdism is something we absolutely love. It's like, Emily was like, oh my god, we could do this. We could do it this way. Should we do this? And it's just, you get all into it, and we just
also congrats for picking the one with the most complex pattern out of all of them. Let's blow the whole deco budget on the program.
And that's the other thing. It's like, there's a lot of deco on this. All right, there's a lot of deco. I mean, you look at it and go, it's simple. But it's not. And I think the other thing, because they're in these kind of like tight suits, the human nature of it is very pleasing when you hold it. Like, if you take an action figure that's got like a big trench coat on or something like that, it's not as pleasurable to kind of just hold. It doesn't feel like you've got a miniature person in your hand. But like, these somehow, I can't even describe it. I'm not even going to try, but it's just, there's something really cool about holding these sort of very figural figures in your hand with all this deco with very simple color schemes. Like, the color break, there's 3 colors. So yeah, but it's cool. Anyway, I'm
but even like the additional hands, like, that's not something that, I'm not a big 375 collector, but none of mine come with extra hands.
It's pretty rare. I mean, like, I can literally think of, off the top of my head, out of a bunch that I've bought recently, like TVC figures, Vader's got a fist and a pointing hand, and and the, oh man, I'm gonna lose my nerd card from Jedi Survivor, the Night Sister has she's got the magic hand, the flat hand. But yeah, I mean, it's.
But even like the light trail effect, like there's some like pretty unheard of stuff here.
Oh,
and
Chris,
3 3/4 inch
Chris,
collector.
Chris, tell them about your light trail design, because I didn't know Chris was doing this, which is great. And that to the deco print you've done.
On the light cycle light trail.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it shows up there. Well, Steve's got
that, like, dithering.
Yeah. So
I think it's on.
I was trying to figure out how to do that, because in the movie, like they're written that way was David, and I wanted it to be efficient for deco purposes, but I wanted it to feel in universe and look like, when you squint your eyes, you want it to feel like it's out of the movie. So where I ended up was doing a square dithering pattern. So it's this. The light trails are molded in a translucent kind of a milk jug sort of plastic, and then the yellow is printed on there with the halftone screen moving along. So all the dots are still yellow, but because they're a square halftone, they look a little like they're resin in.
So cool.
And it was just a fun way to do that. But
it's so simple, but it's just genius. It's just like, I remember seeing that and I was just like, I salivate. I go, oh, that is a really nice touch. Like, oh my God, it's so stupid. It's just like little squares, but it's just, I don't know, it's just so satisfying. I think that's what I like. It's just the size of it, the scale, it just fits and it lights up and you've got these little things and all the details. It's just like, I don't know, it's just gorgeous.
Well, and you guys were talking about the extra hands and the light trails for the discs and the discs. I mean, I think if we talk about these things in Star Wars figure terms, those are each a deluxe figure. When you look at the amount of deco that's on them,
Absolutely.
the articulation, the accessories, like they're deluxe figures. And I don't know that we talked that much about that, but really like we've talked about how much deco there is on a Boba Fett figure. I think the lightest one of these puts that to shame.
Yeah.
In the amount. So
yeah, easily.
Yeah, it's like putting a Spider-Man amount of deco on a 3 3/4 inch figure.
And articulation, to be honest.
It's worse. It's worse than that. Yeah. When like all those things wrapping around, it's not like it's on the front of an arm or a leg. It's all the way around.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And it's
and I think that was our duty. That was our duty to bring value. I'm going to keep saying this word value. It's like, if this is the time we're going to do it, and this is maybe the only time we're going to offer this, or it is the only time we're going to offer this as it stands at the moment, it's like, we had to do it right. You had to. And it's like, a lot of people look at the scale and go, oh, it's only a couple of colors. They're like, but the detail's important. It's like, you have to, you can't not. So it was like, do whatever it takes to make this right. And as I said, we had people to look it over and check against all the reference and go, well, actually, that angle's wrong. That doesn't go like that. It's like this. So that's, there's only so many characters in this movie. So all the fan base and all the people that love it know it very well. Very well. No, that's a 45. That looks like a 30 degree. And I remember having the conversation with someone. No, it comes out a bit more. And I'm like,
right. Oh, okay. That line was 1/4 inch hard pack tape on his helmet, and that line was 1/2 inch. Like, yeah. And Steve said it earlier. If this campaign doesn't fund, we're going to be sad. Like, no question. But I am never going to regret the amount of work we put in on this. But as we were just talking, what went through my head is I might regret that we didn't talk more about the amount of work we put in on this, because I think that's something that people don't necessarily understand, especially in the Tron community. I think Star Wars fans get that because we spend so much time interacting with the Tron or with the Star Wars fans, but the Tron community, I don't think understands what all that means, the deco, the articulation.
Yeah. And again, it's that toy knowledge, that like basic entry level, to the concept. But speaking of other folks, as we usually do when we have you guys on and and any of our guests, we did go out and collect some questions from the community for you guys to answer. So just to make this quick, keep an eye out on our socials for when we announce new guests at AIC_podcast on Instagram. We'll put a post up and you could submit questions as these folks did for our Q&A here. So Dave, help us out. Let us take care of our first question here.
So at Riley Bob 86, with the made-to-order option on Hasbro Pulse, why the decision to make this a HasLab as opposed to a made-to-order project?
I'll grab that one. Yeah. So there are lots of different ways that we can make things, and there are different levels of nicheness. Is that a word? So Tron is a niche fandom. I think that's fair to say. They have a strong, small, passionate group, and that's
absolutely fair.
And it's niche for us. We've never done this before. We've never done this brand before. So I think the beauty of HasLab is that as I keep saying, we're exploring, we're testing. HasLab is a great platform for testing. Now, a lot of people tell me hey, it's got to be big, it's got to be huge, it's got to be super expensive, $400-$500, and it's like, no, I was there at the very beginning of HasLab, and it was always things that wouldn't normally sit well at retail or sit naturally at retail. This is our chance. Dream items and unusual items don't always have to be big. They don't always have to be a certain price tag, but they do have to be unusual. And this is an unusual one. This is something that was new, and we weren't sure about it in terms of, I don't know how many Tron people are out there. And we're doing 375, and we made that decision, as I explained before, because of the heritage of Tron 1982 and where action figures were in those days, and we wanted to give them something they've never had before. So it's like, there's Tron fandom, there's Star Wars fandom. How many 375 fans are out there that are going to maybe come over and support this for the love of the scale? We have Star Wars fans that we know very, very well, and a lot of them like the original trilogy and like my age, and like Tron was around that time, maybe. But we didn't know. We don't know. We can't guarantee any of it, and like it's important to be able to. Last thing you want is to be able to put a product out and it not sell and go to closeout. Closeout is nobody's friend. I promise you, it's nobody's friend to a toy line. It's the killer of toy lines. So HasLab was the way. It was like, this way we do it. And if we put it out and we put all our hearts and soul and what we strive to put in, the value that we feel that this project deserves. And if there are people there, enough people kind of go, you know what, I love that. It's the right thing for me. It's the right price for me. I'm going to support it. And enough of that, it gets made. Wonderful. And if it doesn't, then we haven't kind of put it out there and to sort of stagnate. It's a kind of an honest way of doing it, I feel. Yeah. So that's why it was a HasLab versus a made to order. Because a made to order is you've committed to making it. You're making the tools, and you make it only as many as have the orders, but you still got to make the product. So HasLab was a good way of doing that. And I don't think we've used HasLab in this way before, which I think some people have kind of gone, oh, yeah. I say that. We have used it like that way before, but not for a while. So it's a test and learn. I don't mean that like Tron fans are guinea pigs by any stretch of the imagination, but like it was we're exploring. And so I'm going to use every means possible to explore and try new things out. And if that means, without HasLab, we may never ever be able to offer this particular offering at this particular scale for this particular movie. So you can choose whether your glass is half empty or half full in that way. So, but that's why it was a HasLab.
And I think it boils down to, especially you guys are super familiar with this as, doing what you do, but the 3 3/4 inch community, like, they see the legacy figures get announced as 6-inch figures, and it's like, oh, they'll just be available on Hasbro Pulse. So I think the knee-jerk reaction of that community is like, oh, us again. We get punished again for some reason, and it's,
I get it. I get it. Look, at the end of the day, at this point in time in toy history, in toy evolution or toy whatever it is, toy time, 6 inches the standard, is the industry standard. Like there are hundreds of brands out there, and they usually hit 6 inch because it's a particular size, and it has its particular uses, and it's just the way it is at the moment. There is a bigger audience for 6 inch action figures. Now that doesn't mean they're any better or any worse than 3 3/4 inch. So I think we arrived at 3 3/4 inch for 82 because it was the right scale to do something new and never been done before for that movie. For Legacy, it's a different generation. It's 18 years. 18 years later, that's a different generation. There's a different, and at that time it was
18 years since Legacy.
18 years since the
from
first
the
one.
It's the first movie. It's 15 now
So it's 18 years different. So it's a new generation, it's a different generation. That generation grew up with larger action figures. We were at a different point in time. So it kind of made sense. And to be fair, Dwight loves Legacy, and he wanted to do 6 inch figures. And we're like, that's okay. We could have made them all 6 inch, but we wouldn't have been able to deliver anything new for Tron in the way we want to do it. We could have done it all 3 3/4 inch, but I felt that the Legacy ones were more suitable for 6 inch. Listen, at the end of the day, whatever decision we make is going to be the wrong one. That's good.
One could say,
I've learned that.
One could say it's digital jazz, man.
It's also the technological jump from 82 to 09
to 2010. So it's 18 years. Yeah. So there's a little bit of homage to that. And again, some people want it all in 6-inch. Some people want it all in 3 3/4 inch. Some people don't mind them split. Some people hate the split. But again, it's.
Wait, do you mean you can't make everybody happy all the time?
No, I've tried. Listen, as I said before, Chris and I have wonderful jobs, and that job is made even more wonderful as soon as we realize that we can't win. And that's okay. Like, I get up every morning, I'm going, all right, can't win, but it's okay because we're making toys. We're making toys for communities that are just wondrous. Just wondrous. Like, I started out in the toy community, and Chris probably before me, probably about the same time, Chris, like in the early 90s, just what's this toy community thing? And it's just grown and grown, and social media has helped. And it's just, and you have the beautiful people and you have the not so beautiful people in it. And it's like, it's all right. Good, bad, and the ugly. It's all good. It's like, I could be selling insurance, but I'm not. It's like, no offense to anyone who sells insurance. Sorry. Anyway,
I think part of it too is like Steve talked a little bit about there. I mean, we're like, this is an experiment. Like, we're learning. Like, the community should not think we know everything about what we're doing. We are
even after 25
and I
years.
think I've talked about that on a podcast previously. It's like that's one thing that experience teaches you, is that you know less the more experience you have, or you realize how much less or how much more you don't know.
Yeah. You don't know what you don't know.
And worse, like, we've been doing this, like Steve said, since the early 90s. And I know now that there's a vast amount of things I don't know, and question marks, and all these things they're part of that. Like, I'll be bullish and say that we're very good at what we do, but I also know that there's a lot of things that we don't do perfect, and we're constantly chasing that.
Constantly. And if we're not trying new things and not innovating and not getting it right, if everything we do worked and everything we did was absolutely perfect, I tell my kids this all the time. They hate it. It's like, you're not doing it right. You're not trying. You're not experimenting. You're not innovating. Dyson took 1,527 times to get to his bagless vacuum cleaner. It's like, no one on the planet of innovation or creative or trying to do new things had it all work the same, had it all work perfectly. Walt Disney, he went bankrupt, for goodness sake. Like, he went bankrupt was like 4 times. So it's,
you don't learn from doing things right. You learn from doing things wrong.
No.
And that's the one thing as a Tron fan we've learned is, like, even if we think this is it, we never know.
Yep, that's true. All right, our next question comes from @CaptainHorrible. Steve, you already covered this, but we'll get it out of the way real quick. If this HasLab doesn't fund, will these figures ever be offered again?
I don't think so. Not from us. I don't think so. Like, who knows in the future? I can never say never. Never say never again. But no, I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, the HasLab model is great for telling us how much interest there is in something.
Yeah.
And how big of a market there is for it.
Yeah.
So
this is it, folks.
So if you're the type of person who's ever been, you know, it'd be great, some Tron figures.
Boy, do I have some Tron figures for you.
I've got a project for you to take a look at.
They're right here. It's like
they'll probably be in Steve's basement in a case.
Yeah.
Who gets to keep the prototypes? If this
I think we have to grind them up.
We have to grind them up, don't we?
Oh God. No, or do they get to go in that vault, that Hasbro vault?
I don't know. I don't know what the IP law is on that. I don't know. Oh.
I think the law is we have to make 2 more sets of them, and then we have an offsite storage for safekeeping.
Well, at least this weekend I can put them in my case and kind of have a look at them.
It would be very on brand to send a set up to Antarctica. Just throwing that out there.
We need the seed vault for unproduced toys. Yes,
I love that. Dave, next question.
Yeah, kind of along the same line. Like, from Salty Hyper Beast. Are there any plans to make legacy figures in 375? I'll add to it Ares in 375. I think we all know the answer to that.
Well, no, I don't think you do, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think you do. I think it all depends on what happens here. As we said, this is an experiment. It's a test. Like if this went gangbusters, listen, HasLab is a very stressful journey, all right? HasLabs go, woo, plateau, woo, at the end. This is slower. I'm not going to lie. What was it, 8,000? We need another 8,000. Like, we've had 8,000s go crazy at the end. Whether it happens with this, I don't know. That's not up to me. It's out of my control. All I'll do is annoy the community by plugging it and trying to tell you kind of all the amount of love that we put into it. So I think, if these were successful and 375 is something, then yeah, might do. No plans to at the moment, but like never say never in that sense. I think, yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah. No's never an answer.
We've seen HasLabs open doors for other stuff to happen in other lines.
It's true.
So, I mean, that's kind of if you want it to be possible, like you've got to show up, right? Like if you want a sequel to a movie to be made, you got to show up and get 10 of your friends to come, and they get 10 of their friends to come. Like it's you vote with your wallet. So if you want this, that's the answer.
You can make your own destiny here.
Yeah,
everybody
you really can.
Tron fans own the destiny of this project ultimately.
And I don't want to appear as if we're like taking hostage. Like, well, if you don't get this, you don't get out of it. But that's just the way the world works. It's like, of course, if something is successful, you want to look into it and develop it a little bit more. And if it's not successful, then you move on to the next experiment and the next test. And so that's where we are.
So we're gonna
the same goes with the 6-inch ones. But I think the one thing that we know for sure is that like the technology put into this is, and correct me if I'm wrong, is going to exist moving forward, or can exist.
Well, the learnings from doing these figures are certainly part of our repertoire now. Yeah. Whether what we have done on these figures makes sense to implement on other figures, that's an open question. But now we know we can.
So we're going to end the Q&A here with a hopeful question. From @21B asks, when this HasLab is funded, how will it come packaged? Like in terms of, I guess, like the, for those that have ordered previous HasLabs, there is beautiful big box inside other box. How would this come packaged?
We've talked a good bit about that, Steve. You're closer to that than the rest of us.
I got ones right here. So
yeah,
so we over the last, I think we started it kind of 2 or 3 HasLabs ago. What we call collector grade. It has a collector grade kind of thing, which I hope the people that have bought the last 2 or 3 HasLabs have noticed the vast improvement in sturdiness of the packaging. Like Chris, your Ghost, what was that, 48 pounds? I think 28 of that pound. 28 pounds.
Yeah, it was like 26 kilos or something crazy to ship.
It is tough. So, as you say, the figures are carded. I think the bikes and the base will come in a box, and then that will come within a box, within a shipper. So it'll be, and it's it's not. I'm looking at the cantina over there, which is huge. I mean, it's probably the size of that. So like, it's actually a decent sized box. It's manageable. So it'll come well protected. I don't think you're going to get. It's easy. It's easy to ship, if that's fair. Easy, but yeah, we haven't designed the outer box yet. I mean, Sean Kenny, who did the card backs, we've done that, which are kind of cool, and they're still work in development. And it's interesting because a lot of people, the other beautiful thing about HasLabs is that we're still making it and we're still developing it. Like we get a lot of constructive criticism, and I'm always open for constructive criticism. Give me constructive criticism. Don't give me just criticism just to be mean. Like that doesn't actually do anything for me. I ignore it, and it doesn't teach me anything. But someone was talking about, hey, what if that is like a resealable pack, and what if I can blister it and then take it out? And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting, because I don't know where the Tron fans are openers or they're minting cards, or whether they buy two and they open one and keep one shut, like a lot of Star Wars fans do. So like that's kind of interesting. So I think HasLab, we're still making stuff. Like I would use this analogy, or not analogy, like Chris on the gunship. You and Adam from Lucasfilm were tweaking deco as we were showing it to people and like going off and having it painted. Yeah. So that's the beauty of it. Anyway, I've digressed.
I can vouch for that in person.
Yeah. So well packaged is the answer. Cool. 2-1B.
I think of like, one of the coolest HasLab packages of all time was the Proton pack. Like the amount of just fun, like opening it was an adventure itself. Like it was like fun, like discovery and everything like that. So
I think there's things like that were like there's no legacy packaging style for Tron that we're referencing. So it's a complete question mark as to the final design of how all that would come together.
Sean Kenny had we all did. We had love meetings like this where we sit down and we go, what's the thematic? Is it old like 1980s computer boxes and like you unbox it like you would do an old kind of like Amstrad or something? And he eventually went on, there's a lot of arcade inspiration there. We got the original arcade art and had a look at all the line art and noticed a lot of greens and kind of cerises and things and black. So we decided on landing on this where it's kind of like retro but modern. We wanted it fresh. I didn't want it to look kind of old fashioned. So we kind of went for this sort of this arcade look. And I don't know yet what that means. If it funds and we get into the box and the unboxing, I don't know what that looks like. Yeah,
it'll be fun. It'd be fun though. Like
it'll be really fun. Like
I was bringing up photos of old computer boxes that I remember from childhood, like when we got our first PC and old Apple boxes.
Yeah,
what all that stuff looked like. Just as like, hey, could we do this with the shipper? So the shipper looks like you just got a package from 1982.
Oh,
like all sorts of fun stuff like that. So
that's from my head.
Like a lot of slip cases and stuff like that. Yeah, like
what if Encom was shipping you hardware in 1980?
We actually said that. Yeah, it's like, what's your Encom computer box? It just showed up late from 1982. Like,
or how they ship a cab, like an arcade cab. Like, yeah, that's brilliant. That's awesome.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of really interesting packaging treatment for Tron over the years with, using the arcade cabinet as kind of like the go-to style guide, whether it's the very wonderful Adidas running shoes that I just bought, or the Diamond Select RIP, the arcade cabinet from San Diego Comic-Con,
or the really cool, like you can make yourself a figure from the Disney World. That's like a collapsible arcade cab. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys, this takes us to the end of Q&A, and I know we've been here for a while, but let's send one more message out to the universe.
Let's keep the when not if train running,
correct.
And if I sound like I'm somebody who really wants this to fund, because I really want this to fund.
So we have a track record here. We say it all the time. We are an if not when, or we are a when not if podcast. So when this funds, when the Tron fans come out of the woodwork in this final push here, this final week.
As the enormous Tron fan that I am.
Steve, Chris, remind our listeners, our viewers, where can they back the Tron HasLab, and when do they have until to do it?
They have until November 24th, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hasbro Pulse. www.hasbropulse.com, because this internet thing's brand new.
The World Wide Web.
Yeah, World Wide Web. Anything to add to that, Chris? Have I got those facts right?
It all sounds right to me. Yeah.
And listen,
there you go.
We are not here to persuade. You probably think we are here to persuade. I'm not here to convince. I'm not here to beg or anything like that. That's the nature of HasLab. It allows us to do things we wouldn't normally do, regardless of whether people think we should or should not do it. This is a platform for us to try new things out. If you're into it and you see the value there and you see the love and the heart put into it and you can afford it, I don't want people trying to do things when they can't afford it. Like, we're in a place now where everything is expensive and life is more expensive. Labor, freight, everything's gone up. Unfortunately, the toy industry and the collectible industry isn't immune to that, isn't exempt from that. But if you see it and you love it and you think you want it, back it. There's nothing stopping you. You can cancel at the end. If it doesn't back, you don't get charged. If you back it and it funds, you get charged the day after. But don't worry. I've heard a lot of people say, well, if I back it and it doesn't fund, like, do you keep my money? And it's like, no, you don't get charged.
Never take your money. Yeah.
Never take it. But like, momentum is important. It's key. And we see that, especially at the end when people start coming, and people will. It'll go up. Will it go up past 10,000? I don't know. That's out of my hands. I mean, I've backed a number of them. So there you go. It's if you want it, you've never had it before. You've never had anything like this before. If you want it, come and get it. That's
and
if you know somebody who is not in this toy world, that this may not be for you, but maybe it's for a couple people or somebody who's super into the movies. Like, point them in this direction, because if they don't know about it, like, they don't know about it. So let's get people.
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it, is just getting the word out to the Tron community. We've talked a little bit about how that community is not actively in the toy world, or because it's maybe a collective 5 years worth of Tron product since 1982.
Yep.
Versus something like Star Wars, where we've had product since 1978. Like, it's just been on shelf the entire time. So that community is not looking for that. And Steve said he won't beg, but I will, because I don't want to fight Steve for the only samples.
I got it here. You ain't grinding it. I think the other thing on this is, like, because this is the shrine, the centerpiece, if someone just likes Tron, you can get this. Like, look, I've admitted this a billion times. Like, I've worked on Star Wars, on and off for 10 years. I've worked on Marvel for the past 5 years. I don't collect Black Series or Vintage or Marvel Legends. I'm intimidated by it because there's so many. Like, Marvel Legends has like 1,500 things. And I like my retro stuff because they're little individual little memory boxes that I have. Mm-hmm. This is what this is. If someone likes Tron and you can get this and not have to worry about the intimidation of having to get more and more and more and more and more. Now, some people might look at that and go, well, I want more and more and more and more. It's like, well, you know what? You might get more and more and more when we get this done. But like, I don't want people to be afraid of getting this just because they love Tron. Like you mentioned, Dave, your friend who's got his DVD collection. Perfect. Grab that, put it on there, you're done.
You are.
Lights up. It's a little homage, which I think is what we're trying to do with the 375 thing. Just create these homages. Because
you never have to buy another toy in your life.
It's a USB cable to the wall. Like you can plug. You don't have to worry about batteries or charging. Mm-hmm. You just plug a USB straight into your 10 watt or whatever 5 watt, 10 watt charger, whatever the thing you use for your phone. You plug this into the wall. It's got a neat little switch on it. It's the button, right? The Tron logo.
It's a logo on the front.
So you don't have to worry about like dealing with buttons hiding in the back. You just hit the little Tron.
Same way your NES Classic works.
It's true. Yeah, and it could go right next to your NES Classic.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
So
or if you're super cool and you got the Intellivision one, like the Intellivision Classic.
Whoa.
There's no knobs on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for taking the time. First of all, thank you for bringing this project to life.
Yes.
Like I said,
thank you so much.
We are so excited and really, really hope that the Tron fans unplug from the grid long enough to come and fund this.
Tron fans, Star Wars fans, 375 pop culture fans, DVD collector fans,
sci-fi fans, Disney fans. Where are you? Come on.
Yeah.
Well, and you thanked us, but Steve and I get to come on here and talk to you guys, but oh man, we've talked about Emily and Bailey being huge parts of this.
Yeah.
But it's a massive team, and we talk about it all the time. Like from the model shop to our partners in the factory making things, to the model shops that are overseas, to engineers, to project managers, all of it. Like everybody plays a critical role in this.
Yeah.
And and it doesn't happen. It doesn't come close to happening without that huge
Yeah, 100%. And it's an unusual feeling when it's working on a HasLab, because there's no guarantee that it's going to actually go forward. So these people do not pull punches working for a project that is going to be a HasLab. There's no sort of like, it might not work. Like I've used this line, and the whole team, we don't quit. We're not programs that quit. This program, this HasLab program, this project program does not quit. We keep going. I'm seeing meetings talking about how we're going to make it and tool it and all this kind of stuff. And we're like, I don't know if we're making it yet. So like my thanks and respect goes, as Chris rightly says, to everybody that puts their heart and soul into this, because it's a lot of work to put into this, but that's okay because we love doing it.
We're glad these two programs have the right prime directive on this, and
Nice.
we're really we're ready to have the perfect system in real life. But
we're excited for what Master Control has for us.
With that said, we will put links in the description below, whether you're watching this on YouTube, whether you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platform. We will put a direct link to this project, not only in our description on YouTube, in the podcast, on our Instagram page. So again, if you're not following us at AIC_podcast, there will be a permanent link in our highlights, in our bio. Make sure that you guys, at the very least, take a minute just to take a look at this. And we're all hoping for the best here, but I think with that, Dave, it's time for an end of line.
End of line. Go back this.
Thank you for hanging out with us today. Subscribe, rate, and review this podcast wherever you listen, and then tell your friends to do it. Thanks also to Joe Azari, the golden voice behind our intro. Learn more about him in the show notes. Our music is Game Boy Horror by the Zombie Dandies.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Adventures in Collecting, and on Twitter at AIC_podcast. Stop by and say hi. Show us your hauls and photos. Tell us your toy stories. Maybe we'll talk about it on a future episode.
Don't try this at home. Void where prohibited and some assembly required. Each sold separately, not a flying toy. Consult a physician if your toy run exceeds more than 4 hours.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.